What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Impact Wrestling review. A lot of things on the show tonight. World title on the line. Eddie Edwards, Eric Young. What was going to go down tonight? But before we get into the main event, a lot of stuff to go through this show on. We first kick it off with a one-on-one match. Sami Callihan versus Rob Van Dam. Katie Forbes was with him. This match to kick off the show, what can I say about this? I didn't want to call this a bad match at first. I didn't, but what took away from this match that didn't make it good? Too much Katie Forbes getting involved with RVD throughout this entire match as a distraction, and Callihan falling for it throughout this entire match. Some were saying about what they kept bringing about RVD's age or something, about his father time caught up to him, which doesn't look like it has, and he still looks the same and can still go and whatnot. But the thing with this match is that you kind of would think RVD almost would have won this, but somehow Callihan was able to beat RVD, pretty much, rolled him up, locking him in for the pin, because RVD had help throughout this entire match from Katie Forbes, which I really wish they lessened that, because I just don't know why. Like I said, I like Van Dam if he's out there on his own and whatnot. I'm trying to like this heel RVD, but too much Katie Forbes. It's like people say that the ass is just mostly fake and the twerking and whatnot. I have nothing against the whole twerking thing. It's just some would say, and I would say too, make sure the ass is actually real. I don't know if that's actually real in that. And I just feel like there's just too much distraction in this match. And then after Callihan won, Callihan still got distracted by Katie Forbes, pretty much followed her, and then RVD and Katie Forbes started beating him up. They put a chair in the ring. I guess she used her ass as a weapon to hit the chair with, and RVD pretty much did like a kick onto the chair to beat up Callihan. So the match just had way too many distractions in there, which even I wondered, why didn't the referee throw out Katie Forbes if she's going to keep getting involved in the match? I'm not going to say it was a handicap match, but with all those distractions and probably the referee seeing it several times, you'd think they would have gotten rid of her already. So why was she still out here throughout this match? Hernandez was going against Fallah Bahh in an arm wrestling contest until Reno Scum showed up. Say like, hey man, we couldn't find Heath for anything, but we want that cash for taking out Rhino, which Hernandez pretty much gave him, like, just still be on the lookout for Heath tonight. We then went back to Wrestle House, which I kind of will get to something good about this show in a minute, but I guess they still had this whole thing going on with Rosemary, Johnny Bravo, and Taya saying whatever it takes, and that this is going to end tonight, okay? But as they were all standing, the rest of the Wrestle House group, they were standing outside the door for Johnny Swinger, who I guess he had to pay up as and dress as Crazy Steve after he lost that match last week. And we won't make fun of you, they said, but Swinger came out saying, oh man, Matt Bourne is probably going to be laughing at this. I could have sworn Matt Bourne's been dead for a few years now. And whatnot, but I remember Swinger's trying to be somebody out of the 80s and everything, but since he was dressed as Crazy Steve, they were pretty much making fun of him then, pretty much saying like some other version of Insane Clown Posse and whatnot. And as Johnny Bravo's walking, Tommy Dreamer says, listen man, I know that match is going on tonight, you're going to be a special guest referee, okay? But they went back to the Impact Zone, I want to call it now. Rhino went against Reno Scum in a handicap match. As this match went on, Rhino was able to gore Luster out there, the legend. Thornstone, I guess, got his belt or something and wrapped his hand around it. But the referee or someone as a cameraman pretty much came in. Ref got distracted. It was actually Heath Slater, the cameraman, who pretty much came in and gave him the wake-up call. Rhino came in for the pin, and as he took off the mask and everything, Rhino and Heath pretty much hugged and whatnot, but Scott D'Amore came out with 2 security guards, pretty much chasing him off then after. This is basically what we've seen on SmackDown a few years ago with Heath Slater when he was trying to get back in the building on SmackDown, trying to get hired back. So even though this guy's not been hired to this company, it's almost like the same story going out from this. They really need to make this different because it's basically seeing someone I saw like 3-4 years ago at this point. Moose, I guess, was sitting down until EC3 showed up on the screen. EC3 pretty much saying, listen, if you want this TNA title and whatnot, you want it back, and it's going to be in pieces if the if you don't do as I say, okay? So this can't be stopped, or I will send the TNA title belt to you in many pieces. Moose was pissed off then. He ran into some random guy saying there's a hostage situation going on, called the cops and whatnot. I wouldn't say, not the best idea to be calling any cops right now, but call the cops and everything, get someone for help, and he asked this guy, where's EC3? He's on the other side of the building, and as Moose pretty much left in, this guy, whoever he went to, basically had an EC3 jacket on and an EC3 shirt that said control your narrative, but I guess Moose didn't know that since he was so focused on trying to get his TNA title back, he didn't know who this dude was. That, I guess, EC3 paid off then. Good Brothers were in the back telling some jokes to some, I guess, security or something about whatever they did with AJ Styles' Uncle Allen right there. Until the Rascals came in asking him about, their match with Ace Austin and Fulton tonight. They said, hey, don't worry, we beat them already, so you guys will be able to handle it, okay? Next, we then went back to Wrestle House again with the Deaners, Triple XL, and Dreamer trying to give advice to Bravo. I guess Larry D walked away. I guess there was no more beer and whatnot. And the Deaners pretty much said, you stole the beer. They says, no, you didn't. And next thing you know, I guess they had a match time as Tommy Dreamer was like, all right, match time. We're not going to go to the ring. We'll just do it right here. And this is some weird brawl. I don't even know. I don't even want to call this a brawl or anything. This was some really silly shit at this point, which I'm not even going to call all of this. The only thing I thought was funny was when Deaner was going to go for the TV and Dreamer was trying to plug the show like, whoa, how am I supposed to watch Impact Wrestling on Access TV every Tuesday nights, okay? So don't touch that TV, yeah. And they're just like throwing each other on the couch and ping pong and all this silly stuff and, the car and a bicycle, and I don't even know what Jake Deaner did. Was gonna run a Larry D for almost like a minute, and AC Romero come back, do you need me to help you? And he just flies over into the stage part, and I don't know, they go into some bedroom and they finally found Beard in, and Lawrence D came in and pretty much sprayed the ring rust and whatnot, and Susie shows up, and I thought it was going to be a truce, and I guess something happened. She teleported where Dreamer was, like, hey, Dreamer, where are they at, man? I need to know where's the winner of this match, where she was going to go through the door. She says, no, I guess the winner is Susie, which she had blood on her hands, was possibly kill all four of these guys, and Dreamer says, I got the runs, I got to go. So, honestly, I don't even know what this was, and I don't even get it. I have no idea what this was. Just some silly shit. Like I said, this would have been on for YouTube, not for the show. Too much Wrestle House. Way too much Wrestle House. Alright? Just too much of it. And I don't even know what this was. This random gimmick goofy brawl out here. Really bad. Don't know what it... I don't even have an answer for that, okay? But next, we had the Rascals going against Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. A good match, I will say. I was actually surprised Ace take the pin. Rascals hit the moonsault, and it was like a moonsault and a swanton at the same time. Dez ended up hitting the swanton on Ace Austin, getting the win. But after they won the match, the Motor City Machine Guns came out and said, you guys look great and everything, and whatnot. And, we're not here to steal your thunder or anything, but... we talked about the open challenge y'all had at Slammiversary, and listen, you had no idea we were going to show up, okay? But now maybe this time you can be more prepared and we can put these tag belts on the line, all right? So would you guys like the title shot? Because we'd like to party with you too. But you guys want a title shot next week? Because, listen, we made it legal in Michigan, but you can, blunt it up and, here next week with us for the guns. Give one more burn at the guns. And I guess they were thinking about it. Ace Austin and Fulton attacked from behind. The guns came out, pretty much ran them off then. So I guess we're going to get a tag title match next week between the Motor City Machine Guns and the Rascals next week, which should be pretty good. And yes, the Guns giving them their rematch because, yes, they were not prepared last time. They didn't know they were going to be facing the Guns. But this time, they will be prepared this time. Deon Purrazzo was getting ready for a black tie affair, looking at the guests and asking Kimberly to come out to be her special guest. But as they were talking, Moose pretty much came around and says, you seen EC3? And they said no, and they ran off. when that they ran off, but EC3 was, Moose was still looking for EC3, which we got a lot throughout the night of Moose trying to find EC3 throughout this entire show. Rohit Raju was talking to TJP, talking about, hey, safety first, make sure you put a mask, but TJP with the mask over his face saying, I want an X Division title shot. But Raju says, hey, man, Chris Bay's got a rematch coming. If you can beat him next week, I'll give you a shot. But then we actually went back to Wrestle House, which we actually had Rosemary and Taya in a somewhat legit match this time, and not no short, goofy shit. It was actually a match, and Taya got the win with the Road to Valhalla. But Rosemary lost, and Johnny Bravo pretty much tried to check on her, and she says, we have failed and everything, but yeah, she lost a wrestling match. But I guess now he said that you've won my heart and everything, and I try to keep my business and personal, things away from each other. But I guess Bravo had a ring. He ate that apple and whatnot and said it has to be his wife. And Taya said she was okay with this. And Rosemary says, we're a demon, right? And he says, he was cool with all that. So she accepted it. And then next thing you know, they went to, Kylie Rae telling them, like, since you guys gotten this all sorted out, can we finally go back to the Impact Zone? Rosemary pretty much asked Ty also, yes, we can finally go back, all right? So everybody got in the ring. They put their hands together. I guess, the Crazy Steve took the last beer, but they all put their hands in, and they all teleported away. So finally, and I am very glad, finally, Wrestle House is over. I don't need to see this anymore. There was too much Wrestle House on this show like it was tonight, but it is finally done, okay? Finally, no more of this. Maybe somebody told them that it's time to get rid of this, or this is how long it is gone. But maybe we can get these guys back into doing something important on this show than this goofy stuff, all right? I was okay with Wrestle House at first. I actually thought it was pretty funny. It wasn't bad. But as weeks got on, it just stopped being funny. It was just too much of it on TV. I got tired of seeing it, and even I said, well, where is this going to go? But I guess the ending into this was just, this whole Rosemary, because Rosemary did bring him there to begin with Taya and Johnny Bravo, to do this whole thing with Tommy Dreamer being the host of this show. But it is finally over. So no more Wrestle House. Okay, now we can get to something important now. But as the black tie event was about to begin, Kimberly was in the ring as other wrestlers were surrounding it. Bringing out Deonna Purrazzo, who pretty much says she is the greatest technical wrestler in the world. That her victory last week over Jordynne Grace was just great. And Jordynne Grace came out and says, listen, you did take me to my limit in the Iron Man match last week and the Slammiversary, but enjoy that little title reign you're going to have, because it won't last long. Next thing you know, Tennille Dashwood comes out. We haven't seen in a very long time, I think before this whole pandemic even began. And hey, I'm glad everybody's out here for my return and whatnot. But you may not already know me, but I am Tennille Dashwood, okay? And I want that title. Listen, I'm not Jordynne Grace and everything, because you have not beaten me yet. But Jordynne Grace pretty much says, yeah, you haven't been here to work in months, and now you want to come in and get a title shot. Her and Tennille start arguing then. Deonna says, get these clowns out of my ring. But next thing you know, the actual cast of Wrestle House come back. They actually teleported inside of the ring then. Kylie Rae ended up pretty much in a super kick on to Kimberly and whatnot, because they all showed up there, and Purrazzo was pissed off at this whole thing. Kylie Rae held the title but gave it back. So, like I said, Wrestle House is finally done. It's over. They teleported back. Hopefully no more teleporting after this. But Kylie Rae is still the number one contender for the Knockouts Championship. So hopefully we get something going from that now, because she's been stuck in the Wrestle House for so long. And she's mentioned many times she is the number one contender. Hopefully this now goes somewhere. And hopefully everybody that's been a part of this whole Wrestle House thing goes to something somewhat important, because that went on way too long. Like I said, it's finally over. Brian Myers was being interviewed in the back talking about beating Willie Mack last week. And before, talking about being the most professional wrestler in professional wrestling, talking about, handshakes and whatnot. telling Max to shake his hand and everything. But Moose came in and said, "Have you seen EC3?" And he says, "Yeah, he's down the hallway." Moose said thanks, and Myers got pissed off like that's it. You couldn't even say thank you before he left in. But then we got to the main event: Eddie Edwards versus Eric Young for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship. What could I say? First thing I will say, I wish they would have hyped this match up a little bit more throughout tonight. They've done really great with the build-up. I will say that. It's been great build-up to this. Eric Young has been great ever since he came back to Impact. My only thing with this match, the match wasn't bad, okay? I like the match. I just think I wish they could have built it up more throughout the night, talking about it, maybe a video package, or asking them who, I don't know, maybe some of the wrestlers, who do you think's going to win to this outcome, or at least some, like I said, video package or something to hype this match up more throughout the night, but they really didn't. And I like this match too. It was actually a really good match. And not Eric Young, but Eddie Edwards had tweaked his knee after doing a dive, but when he got back in the ring, the referee was trying to get back in the ring. Eric Young got the belt. The referee was distracted then. Eddie Edwards walked up to him, but Eric Young took his hockey mask, Eric Young took his hockey mask, hit Eddie Edwards with it, and hit his pile driver to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. But as Eric Young won the title, he looked at Eddie Edwards, went for his knee again, put him in a leg lock, and just took him down, pretty much trying to break his knee in half. But there was one more part before the show ended. Moose had walked into a room, which I guess where it was EC3 where he was at, and he says, "What the hell is this?" Next thing you know, is this big billboard, like a map of all the photos of him. Talk about there was some photos that was taken early in the day or when he was at the gym or whatnot, and he looked at this map where all these marks were pointing at, and he said he knows where he has to go. So he started ripping up the board and taking it down, and it said, "You have been warned," before ending the show. Like I said before, the main event was good. Don't get me wrong. Eric Young win the title after Eddie Edwards. I don't mind all the way. Like I said, Eric Young has been great ever since he's came back. They've made him into a sick, vicious heel out there who took out Rich Swann, and now he's taking out the world champion. Eddie Edwards, don't get me wrong, I liked him as champion. I think he was getting more wins. He wasn't being Goofy Eddie anymore. Some people may say he needs to maybe change his look back to normal or something, but he was getting wins throughout this entire time doing these whole open challenges and whatnot. And I know some will say, "Oh, they're bringing some former WWE guy to put the championship on." But Eric Young was more an Impact before he was in WWE. Yes, it didn't really go that well over there, but EY was a big name in TNA throughout many, many years, so he has a legacy to this. So I really don't mind it. And like I said, Eric Young has looked really strong throughout this his run back, and just taking out everybody ever since he's been back on the show. So at least I say they got a top heel on there, and I don't mind that. We'll probably see more from this, or Rich Swann probably eventually coming after Eric Young to try to get that world title from him then. But like I said, main event was good. It just could have used a little bit more hype before going in to the main event. But I did like the match itself in general. I was almost surprised Eric Young won. I actually didn't think they were going to put the belt on him, but Eric Young's just been a vicious killer lately. I guess I don't mind this in a way, so I'm really not mad at this move almost. I just didn't really expect Eddie Edwards to lose right here. I really didn't. But like I said, very good main event. Just I wish they would have hyped it a little bit more, though. One other problem, like I said before, many weeks, too much Wrestle House, but at least we are finally done with Wrestle House, okay? So at least we won't have to see this anymore. It may have been a lot of it tonight, but at least we don't have to see it. The rest of the show, I didn't mind. RVD and Callahan, please end this feud. I have no idea where it's going anymore, and it just kind of makes RVD look bad to having too much Katie Forbes in the match. Callahan, I don't know what they're doing with him. This dude was the guy like last year, and maybe at the beginning of the year too, but I don't even know what's going on with that right now. The Guns and Rascals for next week, I don't mind that. That's pretty good. Tennille Dashwood returning. Very random, I will say that, but maybe this is going to go somewhere. And with the other knockouts finally back on the show and everything, we'll see where this really goes. Who will be Deonna Purrazzo's next opponent after that whole little black tie event they did. EC3 now playing more mind games with Moose, so Moose is now in the hunt to try and get his title back. What else was on this show? Like I said, the tag title match next week. Heath Slater, just stuff I've seen on SmackDown a few years ago, to be honest. So Impact not bad tonight, but like I said many times, Wrestle House just really brings it down. But it's the end of Wrestle House, so hopefully we go somewhere different. But the main event was still really good for the world title. So yeah, other than that though, that's my review of Impact tonight. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. But we'll say at least we actually got a legit title change tonight. At least someone actually won the title from a different show, so-called in another certain finish that happened on another show tonight. But hey, you can go discuss that amongst yourselves or whatnot, okay? Other than that, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.